Christmas.
Hello and welcome to another episode of the Football History Boys podcast with me, Ben Jones, and of course, as always, my good friend Gareth Thomas.
Season's greetings.
Season's greetings indeed. I hope the listeners like that little jingle on the theme tune there.
It's our Christmas special today.
Took us ages to do that. There we are. Christmas special, yeah. So, what's on the show today?
Well, we've been asking for your opinions as ever. We put out, can you give us your Christmas memories, things that link football and Christmas to you, because they definitely are intertwined. We're going to have a bit of a Christmassy quiz, and then we're going to talk about our teams of the decade. We've been asking for your teams of the decade, and now we're going to look through ours too, of course, as we come to the end of 2019, the end of the 2010s.
Yeah, and then on to the 2020s. Sounds weird, doesn't it? Yeah,
really strange.
Yeah, like when we look back at the 1920s, and now it feels like ages ago in the 100 years' time.
Yeah.
That's what kids in school will be learning about. There we are. Right. Do you want us to just get straight into it?
Yeah, so we've been asking for your Christmas memories. Christmas and football, they definitely are linked through the ages. As we mentioned in the past, our book will perhaps touch upon one or two of those things that...
There's actually quite a few things, date-wise, happened around Christmas time, which we'll probably go into a bit more today.
Yeah, I mean, across Europe now, isn't it? They have that winter break, and certainly in Germany, just from Football Manager experience, they shut down for almost nearly a whole month in Germany, and likewise in Spain for a fortnight. But here in Britain, it's very much you play football throughout. You play on the 26th. You often then play on the 28th as well. Then you play on the 1st of January. Football and Christmas is the busiest time of the year.
You get the FA Cup a few days later.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So we've been asking for some of your Christmas memories.
Start us off.
Yeah, lovely. So there's one here from John Burnleys. He's got a lovely a picture of a letter he was given by his elder brother for Christmas from Northwich Victoria Football Club. Invited him to be the mascot on Boxing Day. So that's a lovely little memory there. He said, a Christmas present many moons ago from my elder brother. That must have been nice to open on Christmas Day to say you're going to be the mascot the next day. And we've got one here from Peter Thornton, a ticket stub from 1998. Lovely picture there, showing that Man City had just lost to York, one of the lowest points for the club. Then he took his sons, aged 14 and 12, to watch us, Man City, play Wrexham on Boxing Day in 1998. It was so cold, we did star jumps at half-time, but we won, and the rest is history. The rest certainly is history. If you look for 20 years,
since, haven't they? Yeah.
20 years of Man City has been significant.
Yeah, they haven't done too bad since. Some of the other memories, weren't they? They were sort of football history memories as well, put in there. So we had things like... something I'll talk about later, the Christmas Truce, about the match, or if a match happened or not.
Yeah, if you can mention that.
On Christmas Day in 1914.
General nice ones here, meeting up with friends and family to go for a Boxing Day match. I experienced that as well. Cardiff City season ticket holders, as I've said. We've tended, certainly for the past couple of years, we've been away on Boxing Day. We are home this Boxing Day, but bringing family along who don't normally come. My wife has said she'll come this Boxing Day. It's like my treat. Although she doesn't enjoy it that much, she's going to come on Boxing Day. So, I think it's often a time where families get together and you can drag your other halves that don't like football to the football.
And say, it's Christmas.
It's Christmas,
you got to come. Yeah.
Season of goodwill.
Season greetings. Was that your memory? Your best memory of it?
Well, yeah, because a lot of them, certainly in the past sort of decade or so, when we have been at home on Boxing Day, we tend to lose. Or just around Christmas. We lost 4-2 to Fulham a few years ago on Boxing Day. Very good game, but I just love football around Christmas time. Is that thing of there is an argument for a winter break, and would it improve things for British clubs and for the British national teams? But to be honest, I couldn't imagine football without it.
No, I love it. I mean. Yeah, it probably would have an impact on teams, and the players would probably play better in the second half of the season. But it is, from my own selfish point of view, I do love having so much football on. Yeah. I mean, obviously supporting Liverpool is going to be quite mental this year with the Club World Cup,
of course,
and all the other tournaments are in, and having 2 games in the space of 23 hours in a couple of weeks' time.
Yeah.
Yeah, they've announced their squad today for the Club World Cup.
Are they taking a full squad?
Full squad, but also they've taken Brewster, Harvey Elliott, Curtis Jones and Welsh right back Nico Williams going to the Club World Cup.
Wow.
So the Carling Cup, the Carabao Cup team is going to be, who knows who's going to be in that team now. So that's going to be quite interesting. My own memories, my favourite thing for Christmas time is that Boxing Day when you have, it's changed a bit now, isn't it? But when you have all 10 games in the Premier League on at the same time, which you don't get much anymore these days, but you had it. And I used to go with my grandma's on Boxing Day. Cousins would be there as well. And it was just turning on CFAX, Teletext, whatever, and just checking the scores and like scrolling through quite a few pages and seeing, how my team had gone and saying, I don't know, so-and-so scored. And it's like, yes.
It's going to be a similar case actually this year, I think, because Amazon have got the rights to Boxing Day, so they are going to broadcast all the games. And
they did this week, didn't they?
Yeah, did a good job. I enjoyed it.
Yeah. I've got Amazon Prime, so I was quite fortunate there.
Likewise, if Amazon are interested in sponsoring the Football History Boys podcast, please get in touch.
Yeah, just giving us some free stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. But I think sport and Christmas are like intrinsically linked, aren't they? In terms of certainly rugby, often in Wales, Cardiff where we are, the Welsh derbies happen around Christmas time, and that's something I always did. If Cardiff were away, I'd always go with my wife's family to watch Cardiff Blues play, because they always tended to play one of the Welsh regions, which is nice. And also the darts for me has become a massive part of Christmas. When people say what's an important part of Christmas for you now, for me it's the darts, because it starts on something like the 13th of December. It runs up until about the 23rd of December. Then they have a break a few days for Christmas, which is great because you're not going to be watching over Christmas. And then it starts up again like the 28th, and it's on until the 1st of January. Brilliant, absolutely brilliant.
And do you know what's going to be mad in 3 years' time?
World Cup?
Christmas World Cup.
That's going to be weird.
We'll be in school, winding down. I mean, still working really hard until the end of the year. But yeah, winding down.
Primary schools.
Colouring, making Christmas stuff. But also watching, Morocco versus Iran and loving it because it's the World Cup.
That's going to be odd, isn't it?
And it's Christmas.
That is going to be odd. But in terms of Christmas, obviously one of the most famous stories, something that me in high school is looking at with students at the moment, the Christmas Truce. Did it happen? What's the evidence for it? That story. Give us a bit of a background of the traditional story, Ben.
Well, the traditional story, which I think everyone sort of likes to accept, and not everyone, but most people like to accept and think of it, definitely happening, because it's that romantic tale of how during the First World War, they all thought the war would be finished by Christmas. Come Christmas Day, the war is nowhere near finishing. It's as bad as ever been. The trenches, it's been horrific. The sort of thing that they all been sold of this, a just war and it's good and proper to be in the war is a lie. But for that one day, the traditional tale is everyone in the trenches stopped firing. The German troops were singing Silent Night in German. The British and the French, they sung it back. And then they all got out of their trenches, shook hands, had a hug. Someone said, let's have a game of football. There was a great game of football. There was 11 aside. It was 3-2 to the Germans, or the Germans won on penalties, and that's exactly what happened. That's what we're told. Yeah, well, that's the traditional story, isn't it? That is a traditional story, and we've done a project in school, summing up their World War I work for our Year 7s, and they've summed up some lovely pieces. Someone focused on the Christmas Truce, and they papier-mâchéed an old football, making it look old, drawing some posters, things like that. And, cool, and what we said is that let's do like a myth bust of it. And of course, we don't know the exact story, but we've got a couple of things here, a couple of sources here that we're going to look at. So obviously one is written by yourself, and I can show you here that on my source for the students next week, historian Ben Jones, writing in 2015 for the Football History Boys. And as you say, actually... 2015, 4 years ago now. Yeah. Mad. Whether it happened or not, as you said, Christmas was something that the soldiers had in common. It gave them an opportunity for both sides to display humanity despite the surrounding chaos. It was a chance to forget the hatred they'd been told to feel. And I think... that seems to be the summary point, and that's what we're going to go with actually when we look at it. Of however much this happened, whether a football got involved or not, actually this moment in some form did happen. There was a truce, and despite the horrors of war, both sides, German, British, French, realised that actually we're just humans. It's Christmas time.
let's put our guns away for a couple of hours in some cases, 12 or so in other cases. But it's lovely, and there's another one here. It's from the Newcastle Journal, written on the 26th of December, 1914. Said this, and this is a soldier's view of it, I believe. An extraordinary thing happened between us and the Germans yesterday. We were so close that we could talk to the Germans, and in some cases the trenches were pretty close to each other, weren't they? Yesterday it got quite friendly. After talking and shouting to each other, they arranged that one of our men should go out halfway and meet a German, and then there should be no shooting. And it goes on to say, the men met and shook hands amid cheers from both trenches. The men gave the German soldiers cigarettes and received some chocolate. So in that case, that soldier's perspective, there was a truce during that period of time.
Yeah, I think it's if the truce was limited to a certain area, isn't it? Or if it was the whole thing, which it probably was a certain area rather than everywhere, because it was the trenches went on for miles. They stretched out, didn't they?
Yeah, of course.
Another newspaper actually said I think it was a letter written, I think in January, back to whoever, and then it was picked up from the papers, and it said, on Christmas Day, a football match was played between them and us in front of the trench. They, the German troops, were really magnificent in the whole thing and were jolly sorts, and now I have a very different opinion of the Germans. Both sides have started the firing and are already enemies again. Strange it seems, doesn't it? So that's an account, and someone said the football match was played. Yeah. Now, that doesn't mean that might literally just mean someone's got a ball or anything round or something, and just kicked it around, and they've had a little knock around. That's probably what it was.
I think it's that boy who always brought a ball into school, and he just took his ball to war with him.
Oh yeah,
he cracked it out.
Football around.
Yeah. Taff Gillingham, who's a historian who's researched this in particular, and he's quite sceptical of the Christmas Truce. He says it's definitely romanticised. There were 44 infantry battalions that did take part in a truce of some sorts. But they didn't all get out of their trenches. He says anything up to 30,000 men did get out of their trenches. And that seems quite a lot, isn't it? 30,000. And met the Germans. Yeah. He says of those, probably 20 or maximum 30 may have actually kicked the ball about. It wasn't an organised game. There wasn't a referee. It wasn't 3-2. It wasn't penalties. But I think Taft does acknowledge that there was a truce of some sort. I think it's people like Sainsbury's. Remember the advert in 2014? That beautiful Christmas advert making us all feel good about how they're playing this lovely game of football, really ordered, and it looks like a lovely field. Obviously, it wouldn't have been. It would have been, quite sadly, dead bodies across the place. It would have been torn up.
Shell holes.
So for a lot, actually, it was just a chance to recover dead, wasn't it? And recover themselves a day off. And there's a final just perspective from us here from Alfred Anderson, who's a World War I survivor in 2004. And he says this about, when asked about whether there's a football match, he said, we just didn't have the energy for any football matches. I remember the silence, the eerie sound of silence. Only the guards were on duty. All I'd heard for 2 months was in the trenches was crackling and hissing and whining and bullets in flight, machine gun fire and distant German voices. But across there was a dead silence. We shouted Merry Christmas, even though nobody felt very merry. The silence ended early in the afternoon and we started killing again. And he sums it up. It was a short peace and a terrible war. So that's a lovely way of looking at the Christmas truce.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes even... Obviously, like you're saying about Sainsbury's and whatever, and it didn't happen like it was portrayed in that. Sometimes the legend or that it's been built is often, even though it might not be historically 100% accurate, it's so powerful, that message of how football, it's such a simple game, which at that point was only, 50 or so years old in its codified form, and it even only 20 years maybe in its league form and domestic form, was already something that joined people together from around the world, different languages. A lot of people probably never even seen a German before, and Germans likewise the British. But a football, or the idea of football, is something that connects everyone together. It's quite incredible, really, and it still does today, doesn't it? I mean, you see pictures now of war zones. I remember a few years ago where there was the fighting in Ukraine and Russia. I think it's still going on a bit in Donbass and stuff. But there was a picture of Ukrainian troops just having a kick around with the football, and it's something that brings people together. Even in the worst places, you even see, these tragic, huge refugee camps, but there's often a football pitch set up and there's people playing football.
And someone in a messy top.
Someone in a messy top, but they're playing football with the people who work there, and it joins these people together.
Yeah.
And often you have people from Syria or other countries in the Middle East, and they're all coming together because they've got a football, and it brings you together. And I think it's a really powerful thing.
Yeah, and we've argued, so many times for football and sport being an important part of curriculums and education in all forms. And we absolutely think it is. I mean, I used to work in a primary school, very, very diverse primary school, inner city school, and our football team, our school football team, which we used to do after school with the primary school aged children, it was so multicultural. It was like the Premier League, to be honest. We had a Portuguese guy, we had people from the Middle East, we had people of African descent, Welsh people, English people. It's such a diverse team. And as you said, football is that just common language that unites people and has done really for now hundreds of years, or certainly 150 plus years. Yeah,
you don't have to speak, do you? I mean, it helps you win a game if you can speak, but you don't have to speak. Literally, you kick a ball to someone and you instantly have that connection.
Yeah, and it's a messy world we live in, and again, remaining totally politically neutral on everything, really. But it is a messy world, and there's a lot of hatred in the world. But actually, when you look at groups of fans who are cheering people from across different cultures of different countries, that's the thing that unites them, isn't it? Their love for sport, their love for football. Doesn't matter where that player's come from, actually. You're just cheering on the guy you want him to score for your team or whatever.
Yeah, football is that. Yeah, it's an incredible game. And I think because of its simplicity and how easy it is to literally put two jumpers for goalposts and have a proper game.
Yeah.
That's why it's so successful. I mean, I was on Google Earth the other day because I was doing work with my class. And they wanted to zoom in on Greenland, and they zoomed in on Nuuk, which is the capital. And the first thing they saw was just a giant football pitch just in the middle of the town. And it's like, there you go. Something that brings the community together. Yeah. Incredible. Just one last newspaper article from World War One.
Go on.
This is from the Chester Chronicle. And this is what I thought really encaptured the role of football as a universal language. It says, then the strangest thing happened. As if by some mutual agreement, both sides clambered out of the trenches and met in the middle of the field. We exchanged cigarettes and had general conversation. One of them came up to the officer and said in broken English, "Good morning, sir. I live at Alexander Road, Hornsey, and I would like to see Woolwich Arsenal play Tottenham tomorrow." So there's a German who doesn't speak any English, or much English, but he knows certain phrases, and one of the phrases he knows is, I would like to see Arsenal play Tottenham. And that's quite amazing, I think. For 1914, I think Arsenal and Tottenham in particular, I think you've only been a league club for about 10 years at that point. Yeah, you're in Germany, you know these names and these teams. I think it's incredible.
And of course, there's so much more we'll do it on a future pod about footballers at war, some amazing men, Walter Tull, the footballers' battalions, the part sport plays in general, not just football, but all sport. So we'll absolutely spend some time in the future looking at that. But that is a good chat, that. I like that.
Oh, there was, I think we've cleared that whole thing up now. We busted that myth.
Perfect.
It happened and it went to penalties.
That's not what I want my students to say.
Oh, sorry, no.
I want this. We're going to talk about why it should be remembered, even though we don't know all the facts of it.
Yeah, perfect.
Anyway, let's take a break and then we'll come back and discuss yours and our team of the decade.
Brilliant. Right then, we are back and we are ready to start going through our team of the decade, 2010 to the end of 2019. Who knows, in the next few weeks, one performance from any player might change our mind and enter our team of the decade right at the end. I feel that Phil Jones has got a big game in him.
He's a terrible footballer, hasn't he?
Not necessarily football, but a game of something. Right, come on then. Do you want to go first? Who have you got in goals?
Yeah, so we've asked your opinion. We'll share some of yours in a second. We'll kick off with ours. I think we match on this. For me, team of the decade, number one, peeling off my post-it notes, Gigi Buffon.
Yeah, same. Why? What have they got him
Buffon. Well, I was looking, again, stats for him. He joined, just to bear in mind, he joined Juventus in 2001, which is a very long time ago. Bear in mind, I was sort of...
And he was a lot of money back then, wasn't it? It was like 30-odd million. Yeah.
I was in, year 4? Not to make anyone feel old who's listening, but I was in year 4.
About 8.
yet he has still been incredibly important right up until the year 2019, isn't he? And that's what's staggering. 500 Juventus appearances since joining that point, but he's won in the 2010s, okay? 7 Serie A's, 4 Coppa Italias, and a League Un title as well. But it's just that longevity and the fact that everyone just absolutely adores Gigi Buffon, isn't it?
Yeah, he's also won UEFA Club Goalkeeper of the Year 2017, using the UEFA Team of the Year twice as well. He was the IFFHS World's Best Goalkeeper in 2017. And he came Ballon d'Or 2017, 4th place. Do you know that?
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, so there you go. What a player. Yeah. And he's been in the FIFA Pro World 11
of course,
twice this year.
So we asked you your opinions on that. So, Callum Gardner, welcome back. He's very good at replying, Callum Gardner.
Canadian, isn't it?
Canadian, yeah. Canadian. Neuer for him. Flanition FC, Neuer, they're very good as well.
We had some rules, though, didn't we?
Yeah, sorry, of course. Yeah,
we did similar rules to what we did on the original
All-Time 11.
Episode 5, if you want to watch it and listen to it. You can only have one player from each nation, and you have to have someone from your own nation as well.
Yeah.
And I know he struggled because he couldn't think of any great Canadian players, so he said he picked someone from his ancestry, I think.
Yeah, he refused my shout of Junior Hoylett. But anyway, Flanition FC said Neuer as well. They're very good at replying to us. Tom Williams said Gigi Buffon. Jack and Dan said Neuer. They're from my pub quiz team. Juan Frastito from Mexico said De Gea.
Hope Solo here from Skimia Lustrini. So that's a women's team.
Yeah.
But what a keeper she is.
Shoot Carrington said Alison.
Yeah.
But that's
yeah. I think she works for me, in school, Alison. Alison, yeah. I mean, good keeper. I mean, brilliant.
Yeah.
But
Lewis Williams as well, sorry, for me, just said Petr Cech, good shout, because you that's good for quota's sakes. That
get your Czech Republic guy out the way.
Yeah,
because obviously Milan Barros hasn't been that good in the 2010. So, just going back to Hope Solo though, I mean that's quite a big shout. I mean, there's some amazing US outfield players in this decade. Carly Lloyd, Megan Rapinoe, Alex Morgan, and so on. But they got Hope Solo in there.
Yeah.
In goal, I mean, you can't get... There's no real better goalkeepers than her since 2010, though, to be fair.
Yeah,
there we are.
Right back.
Let's go then. Go on.
We'll do the back four, is it? And then we'll...
Yeah, who's right back?
Dani Alves.
So's mine.
Dani Alves in a Barcelona shirt. So I've done it on my Greatest 11 website again.
He's the most
great website.
Isn't he the most successful player ever?
Ever?
I think he is. Trophy-wise, I think no one's won more major trophies than Dani Alves.
Dani Alves, unbelievable.
I'll go through his honours in a bit.
Company for me?
Belgian. Very good. Diego Godin for me.
I've said in the past, I flipping love Company. And in fairness, I'll talk about some of his achievements in the
Diego Godin.
Godin's had a very good decade, isn't he? Varane?
So I've gone for Virgil van Dijk. Mine. Got my Dutch player.
Yeah, fair. That's quite a modern one, but in fairness, I think he's...
I mean, you can only say... You might say, he's been good for 3 seasons, but still 3 years of the decade.
Yeah, I think 2015 to 2025, he will absolutely be player of the decade.
And I also think, even though he hasn't done it for as long, I think he is better than anyone else I've seen.
And my final one is a controversial one. I've stuck Bale at left back. Wearing number 11.
But he started a decade at left back.
Exactly. That's what I got away with it, and because I wanted to put people...
I've gone with Philip Lahm.
He's been superb.
I mean, he only played for 4 years of the decade because he retired after the 2014 World Cup.
Yeah.
But I think for me, he's probably the best fullback ever for me. So, I think he is.
Incredible.
Maybe Catherine, but...
Incredible. Give us some Dani Alves stats then, because...
Right, this decade then, so he won La Liga 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times, 3 Copa del Reys, 2 Champions Leagues, Super Cup twice, 2 World Club Cups, Serie A, Coppa Italia, 2 French Ligue 1s, Coupe de France, Coupe de la Ligue. He won Copa America, the Confederations Cup, all in addition this decade. He's been in the FIFA Pro World 11 this decade 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 times. UEFA Team of the Year 3 times. Nominated for Ballon d'Or. Copa of America Team and Tournament. I think he actually captained Brazil in that Copa America as well. He's just what a player.
Unbelievable.
I mean, and he's a bit of a he's tenacious and he's a bit of a maverick as well. And he's just an incredible player.
Absolutely. Yeah, Company for me, he gets in for obviously 4 Premier Leagues, pretty decent for Man City, who previous to this had never won a Premier League. 2 FA Cups, 4 League Cups, obviously a 3rd place in the World Cup, but he's just Mr. Captain, isn't he? He's like the ideal captain. I know he's had injury problems, but 2 goals basically to win City the league. He's won them 2 of those leagues. And that goal last season, to take it away from Liverpool in a stunning fashion. Unbelievable. Honestly, I was stunned in my living room watching that happen. Unbelievable.
It's a goal that even as a Liverpool fan, you have to put your hands up and go, what a goal.
Unbelievable. Varane. Now, he's a bit of a controversial one, I think, for me. But I've gone for him sort of Mr. Underrated in that way. Because if you look at his stats, perhaps a surprise one, but he started 3 of the 4 Champions League finals that they've won. He played every minute of that final, of those finals he was in. Started and played the full World Cup as well with France. Incredibly underrated, perhaps, but still important for Real Madrid and for France. So
I've gone for someone who lost to him in 2 of those finals, but scored in one of them, Diego Godin. So Uruguayan, so that's my Uruguay quota done. But he's obviously, as a centre-back, he was in that Atletico team which broke the sort of duopoly in Spain of the El Clasico duopoly, so Real Madrid and Barcelona, when Atletico won the league in 2014. And he was central to it, scored the goal which equalised, I think, against Barcelona to winning the league 2014. He also won the Copa del Rey, Europa League twice, Super Cup 3 times.
He's just Mr. Consistent, isn't he?
Copa America he won, just an incredible player. And as a defender, though, I remember watching a few games Atletico Madrid and Simeone, that defence was incredible, but he was central to it. And it's a shame that he's left now and he couldn't have stayed there even longer. And he's hard as nails as well. Yeah. You don't mess with him.
Yeah, absolutely. And then my left back, Bale, cheating, as I said, but he did start as a left back. Cardiff born, so he's on my Welsh quota, obviously. But he has been heroic this decade. 2012-13 was a ridiculous season for Spurs. I've got 21 goals in the Premier League. He was unbelievable.
And every goal was like a
ridiculous
30-yard stunner.
Obviously, a ridiculous then Real Madrid move in terms of money. 4 Champions Leagues there. That Copa del Rey final where he ran off the pitch and was still quicker than the Barca defender.
Bartra,
Unbelievable.
I watched that at the pub.
And, of course, leading Wales to the Euros. The first time Wales have gone to a tournament since 1958. And we were superb. That's my moment of the decade.
I can imagine in 20, 30 years' time when we have our kids or whatever and they're asking, who's the great players? And they have looked for themselves at the sort of finals and who won and the stats. And they'll see, Champions League final 2014, Bale scores the winning goal. They'll see Bale scoring in the penalty shootout in 2016. And also Bale scoring twice against Liverpool, including that...
George
that unbelievable. That's another goal. A Liverpool fan had to say, flipping heck, what a goal! That bicycle kick against Liverpool to win in the Champions League, and then he loves his golf.
Does Wales golf
and Wales and a bit more than Madrid. Not in that order because it's Wales golf Madrid. Yeah. There we are.
Absolutely. Let's have a look at some of yours then. So Jack and Dan, instead of my pub quiz team, they've got Kyle Walker. That's their English quota. Virgil van Dijk, Thiago Silva, good shout, Brazilian. And they've gone for Evra as a left back as well. Yeah, fair shout.
I feel like for me, Evra, I think probably the decade before. But yeah,
humorous guy as well, funny guy,
strange guy as well with the chickens and stuff. Yeah.
Bit odd. Lewis Williams went for Lahm, Van Dijk, Chiellini, good shout Chiellini, and Bale at left back as well. He's pushed Bale into left back.
I like that. Yeah, but I got Lahm, didn't I? And obviously Lahm, World Cup captain, what a player.
Yeah.
Right and left back.
Our Mexican friend Juan Frostito has gone Lahm, left back, Marquez as his Mexican centre half, Bonucci, again, very good decade for him, and Alves too.
We got a Ben Davis here, from Wales, Lanish FC.
Ben Davis he had a very good Euros.
He had a very good Euros. Yeah. Interesting, though, isn't it? It's like Kyle Walker in that team. Is Kyle Walker even been the best English right back?
Very good Premier League right back, but of the decade, you question.
I mean, like I said before, Phil Jones, I think, he's played right back a few times.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Tom Williams gone. Danny Alves as well. Alves is going to be popular, isn't he? Alarm as left back. Varane and Van Dijk as centre half, so a combination of our two. Callum Gardner, Alves, Shinini, Company, again, so another mention for Company, and left back, he's gone Robertson, so he's put him as left back in decade.
I flipping love Robertson.
Again, for the next 5 or 6 years, he could make the mid-decade to mid-decade.
Yeah, well, I think the last couple of seasons, I think Trent, Virgil, Van Dijk and Robertson are probably the 3 best defenders in the world in their positions at the moment. I can't think anyone who's better than them.
Well, I saw a ridiculous stat, actually, that Trent is not that far off breaking Scholes' assist record in the Premier League.
And he's 21.
So like 30 more assists, which is still a lot, but he'll do that.
And he's got this season, I think, already more assists than Jack Wilshere has ever had.
But then Jack Wilshere's just a poor Aaron Ramsey. Anyway, okay, let's go midfield. Let's move on to midfield.
Jack Wilshere wants to sponsor the show. Fantastic.
Yeah.
Or be on the show.
Yeah.
I'm sure he listens.
My CDM, I've put him at CDM as well. Because he's vital for that holding role for me. I've gone for Aaron Gunnarsson.
Okay.
But I'm going to justify it. Obviously, I'm a massive Cardiff fan, and that is why he's there.
Are you going to justify it?
I'm going to try and justify it.
Is that because you're a Cardiff City fan?
Yeah, of course. That's part of it. But
not supermarket.
Icelandic.
Other supermarkets are available.
Gunnarsson. But again, if Iceland want to sponsor us.
Go on.
I've also gone for Iniesta
in
a Barca shirt. And I've gone for Modric in a Real Madrid shirt.
So I got 2 of them. I got Modric, Iniesta, and then I put him in midfield. I've put Bale. Yeah, Bale's in my midfield. He's your left back.
Yeah.
Well, he's at the left of the centre. Yeah, I can play there. I had to basically, if I could choose a 4-2-4, I'd done a 4-2-4.
You could have just gone Ramsey.
Yeah, but Bale's been better than Ramsey.
Yeah.
Not in midfield, but he drops back.
Yeah.
You got him a left back in the day, so you can't talk.
A wing back.
Yeah, he'll push wide from that midfield position.
Yeah, fine.
Yeah.
So Gunnarsson for me in that CDM. Yes, it's my Cardiff City inclusion, but he's been a hero for that football club. So this was me for a decade. He's been my favourite player of the decade. I've said it before, he's a favourite player of all time for Cardiff City. He was my top table were named after, or my tables in my wedding were named after Cardiff City players. He was the top table. And I dedicated a chunk of my wedding speech to him because he's an absolute hero for me. But also, and this is where I'm going to justify him, he led his country, the smallest nation in Euros history, tournament finals history internationally, a country that's smaller than Cardiff, population-wise, to the Euros, dumped England out, was ridiculously good, played against Messi and did decently against him. So for me, he's just the no questions asked. No, I've never been there.
Brilliant.
I'd love to.
Great place.
I'd love to.
Do you know there's no fast food restaurants in Iceland? No McDonald's.
Wow.
But there used to be, and they have a Big Mac on display in the museum.
Wow.
The last ever Big Mac made in Iceland.
If the country of Iceland would like to fly us out, I would love to come and visit.
Iceland.com, tourism, sponsor it on the show.
Yeah,
sure.
Absolutely. We're open to offers. Iniesta then, why is Iniesta in your side?
Well, he was quite a decent player. A player which took his good form from the previous decade and brought it over into this one. I think if you were going for his actual 10 years, it would probably be 2007 to 2017.
Yeah.
But yeah, incredible player. I'll go through some of his honours. This might take a while. Right, we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 La Ligas, 5 Copa del Rey. This is just in this decade. He won some others before. 5 Spanish Super Cups, 2 Champions Leagues, 2 Super Cups, 2 World Club Cups, the World Cup, of course, scored the winning goal. The Euros as well, 2012, he scored in the tournament, but he won that tournament. And then he's obviously been nominated for multiple Ballon d'Ors. He's been in the Teams of the Year, top assists many a time. Yeah, I've said before on the show that he's probably, other than Messi, he's probably my favourite player I've ever watched is Iniesta, because he always just played class. Him and Xavi always played class, and it's almost an impossible task to split the two.
I know, I loved Xavi. I really did love Xavi, but Iniesta then I think just kicked on a little bit more, didn't he? Xavi left a little bit earlier, didn't he? Left Barcelona, but Iniesta's still key.
Well, I watched Xavi recently. When I was doing research for the book, I was looking at the this is actually the previous decade now. I was doing research for the book and looking at Barca's 6-2 win over Real Madrid at the Bernabeu, 2009. and it's the first time Messi played false 9. But Xavi in that game, I think he gets about 4 assists, and he's amazing. You just watch him on the ball, but that's previous decade. It's not this decade.
Yeah.
And Iniesta carried it on even further into the decade, so that's why he's picked.
He did. And
Cruz,
Modric as well.
not Cruz, Modric. Yeah, they often played together.
Yeah, Modric, a Ballon d'Or winner, has led Spurs initially, didn't he, and then to Real Madrid and Croatia to immense success of the decade. Croatia again, not a mighty footballing nation, but they've really, I guess you could say, overachieved. They've got a very, very good side. Obviously, him and Rakitic in midfield. But, he won the Ballon d'Or as recently as last season.
Yeah, a debatable
one, but it's still a Ballon d'Or.
But yeah, definitely. And he also, of course, he won 3 Champions Leagues in a row, didn't he, in that midfield alongside Cruz. And yeah, he was one of those places that was annoying. Sometimes you thought, Real Madrid, I don't want them to win. They're winning everything. Yeah. But then he'd always give a 9 out of 10 performance. You'd be like, Benaki, why is he so good? No one's going to get like that. When Liverpool lost in 2018, he was unreal in that game. I remember watching that, being so frustrated because Liverpool couldn't get, after the first half an hour, couldn't get in the game at all because of him dictating the whole game alongside Cruz, who I actually had written down on my list, and I've scribbled him out because I put alarm in. But yeah, both were incredible players actually.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, big fan. Brilliant.
Gavgano, what you said Iniesta, Kante, good shout. And also Toure, not Kolo. Yaya Toure. Again, very, very good decade and a very good African inclusion.
Got a Kevin De Bruyne here.
Yes, very fair shout. Lewis Williams also had De Bruyne in his. He said Iniesta, Kante, De Bruyne, so he's got a central defensive midfield as well.
Got a Tom H. Williams, 23. So Michael Essien, so you got a Ghanaian entry there. Of course, at the start of the decade, also the World Cup, they're fantastic. Stephen Gerrard's English entry.
That was a little bit too wrong decade for Gerrard, do you?
And Essien probably, but
no, yeah.
Gerrard, first half of the decade, right? Gerrard.
He was 05 to 15.
Looking at that women's 11 we were sent in as well. We've got Erin Cuthbert, Scottish entry in midfield. We have Ji So-yeon, South Korean in midfield. Back on their defence as well. Got Lucy Bronze there, who of course came second in the Ballon d'Or this week.
Very good player.
Wendy Renard in centre back, who obviously scores loads of goals. Yeah. I remember the World Cup, it was like every time France plays, she seems to score. There's a few from her.
Yeah, we've also got our Mexican, Juan Rocio, who's gone. He's stuck Messi in midfield, so he's done a cheeky one as well there, but that's fair enough. He's got Modric and Kante alongside him.
Stuart Carrington actually also had Bale at left back.
Yeah,
he's another good friend of the show. He had Hazard in his team.
Modric, Hazard, Iniesta. Yeah, very fair shout.
Weren't tempted by Jesse Lingard, no? That young
youngster. And Jack and Dan, they had De Bruyne, Iniesta and Pirlo. Pirlo's not been mentioned that much, but yeah, Pirlo, very, very fair shout as your midfield.
Pirlo, yeah.
Unbelievable.
There was a few years, wasn't there, where he was just unbelievable and everyone was going on about Pirlo every 2 seconds.
Pirlo.
Right, front three.
Let's go for him. Go. I think, as we said, majority pick themselves. So for me, I've gone in a Barcelona shirt, Leo Messi.
Oh, Messi. Forgot about him.
Ronaldo on the other side.
And him.
And perhaps controversially, but again, I'll justify it. Harry Kane as number 9 as my striker.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, but
yes, the stats probably back him up. Right, you've got Messi, Ronaldo. Yeah, I've got both of them. I've got for Robert Lewandowski in mine.
Loves goals.
Polish. I mean, he's very similar to Kane.
Yeah.
I think, but for me, maybe done it for a bit longer than Kane.
Well, I've stuck Kane in there, as I said. He's a goal scorer. There's no doubt in that, is he? Over 130 Premier League goals in the decade. That's fantasy
one.
Premier League legends. That's his criticism. He's won the Golden Boot.
He has actually
twice. He won a World Cup Golden Boot. But also, I mean, just for me as a massive fantasy football fan, for many years, he's actually been
in my team all season.
He's been the king of fantasy football. Do we need to say anything about Messi?
No, we said it before. Go to episode 5.
Yeah, I think we said we didn't need to say anything about him then as well. But
maybe about half an hour probably.
Unbelievable player. And likewise, for both of us, Ronaldo has been obviously, subjectively looking at it, he's got to be in there, of course. But neither of us liked him that much. I have softened on him. I've said my opinion's slowly changed on him, and I've put we'll miss him when he's gone, because I think we will miss him when he's gone.
There was something for the book that I was thinking of, a moment of being the Ronaldo and Messi dominance over football as like a moment. But for me, it's still ongoing, and it will probably go on for another 5 years. And I thought there's no point in writing about it now. We might as well wait a bit, because there might be more incredible things to come.
Yeah.
And also, it's quite a big, it's about 15, 20 years now, so it's quite hard to put in a moment.
It's a pinpoint in the single
I reckon
moment.
you could write a book on them quite easily.
And I'm sure many will.
And I'm sure many have.
And hopefully we will. And again, if anyone publishers would like to give us a contract for that.
Right, Robert Lewandowski, I'm going to give you some stats about him. Because he's more something I think needs to be praised. Like Kane as well.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of people don't. Some people don't like Kane because he's English and because he's good. But he is good. Isn't he? He's a fantastic player. He's blooming annoying. He's so good sometimes. Right.
Yeah.
Here we go. Lewandowski. 2 Bundesligas with Dortmund. Okay. German Cup with Dortmund, and he lost Champions League final with Dortmund. So, first club, start of the decade, good start. I remember him scoring those 4 against Real Madrid in the semi-final. We were actually at varsity that day. South Wales varsity.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, we sat together. Right, here we go. He came 4th place in the Ballon d'Or in 2015. He's also won the Bundesliga with Bayern Munich 5 times. German Cup twice with Bayern Munich as well. And the German Super Cup 3 times. So, yeah, just an incredible player.
And he's had a ridiculous start of the season this year.
5 goals in 9 minutes in that one game.
Oh, and he said, I just love scoring goals. And he does love scoring. He's literally one of those players who just scores goals.
Yeah, great player.
Yeah.
Just fantastic, yeah.
Gallum Garner says, obviously, Messi, Ronaldo. It's going to be interesting if he doesn't say Messi, Ronaldo. Messi, Ronaldo. And he's put Suarez there. Yeah, very fair shout. Good, had a brilliant decade. Flanish FC, of course, they dropped Messi to midfield. So they've gone Suarez, Ronaldo, and Mbappe. Obviously, Mbappe, the wonder kid, and certainly, again, probably mid-decade will be ridiculous.
Yeah, definitely. Let's have a look. Juan Frausto, his Mexican team. He has Lewandowski in his front three, and then there's Messi and Ronaldo as well.
And Hazard. So you could drop Messi.
Yeah, you drop Messi to midfield and put Hazard up.
Yeah, Tom Williams, same. Leo Messi, Suarez, Ronaldo.
Skimia Lustrini's women's 11 again. This is topical actually. They've got Vivian Miedemar in the team. Did you see her stats the other day? The match against Bristol City, right? They beat Bristol City 11-1. The first 10 goals she either scored or assisted.
That's mental, isn't it?
I mean,
I saw it. That's unbelievable.
That is. That was in the men's game, and the Messi did that. Fancy points is. I mean, that's imagine triple captain in that. But imagine Messi doing that in a game. I mean, he's probably done something similar, but he's never done that much. The internet would just break, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Christine Sinclair, who's obviously, I think, one behind Abby Wambach, is the highest international goal scorer of all time.
Yeah.
And no one else you can put there, really. Marta as well. Brazilian.
Oh, unbelievable.
Multiple Ballon d'Or, World Player of the Year.
It was a pleasure to be able to see her actually in the 2012 Olympics. I mean, that
I was there as well, yeah.
2012 Olympics, that was ages ago, and she's still very good.
Yeah, still at the top of the game.
Very, very good. A couple of other shouts in. Jack and Dan have said Ronaldo, Bale, and Messi.
Robin. Great shout.
He loves
That's a really good shout.
He loves cutting in, doesn't he? He loves cutting in.
There's
you know what he's going to do, but you can't stop him.
Because Salah tries that for Liverpool all the time. Yeah. But, 50% he'll do it. Robin, I swear, 100% of the time, he'd cut in and
you knew exactly what he was going to do. I mean, he scored. I watched him against Wales. And you know what he's going to do. Everyone almost is just anticipating it. I think the players were, and he still managed to score from it. Ridiculous.
He's, he's just... I watched a trading show with him on YouTube, actually, and he does that move, and the guy who's doing it with him just miles away.
Made a career off it. Lewis Williams as well said Messi, Ronaldo. He's put Neymar in there. He said...
I was thinking Neymar before Dani Alves for me.
Neymar for the start of the decade. Obviously, he had a very good 2014 World Cup. He was the poster boy. And really did live up to it until he got injured.
Broke his back,
broke a bone in his back. Yeah. Anyway, I've really enjoyed that. I've enjoyed our team of the decade.
Yes, so have I.
Yeah. We'll have another break, and then we're going to come back with time for some quizzes, I think. And we'll also talk about what is happening over the Christmas period in football.
Welcome back to the show, the Football History Boys podcast. If you want to get in touch with us here, you can find us on Twitter at TFHBS.
You can look us up on Facebook, search the Football History Boys.
You can email us, thefootballhistoryboys@hotmail.com.
Or you can go over to our website, read some of our articles, and also find the link to the other podcasts we've done, thefootballhistoryboys.com.
Lovely jubbly. Right, quiz time.
Christmas quiz time.
Christmas theme for this quiz today. Right, I found this quiz on thefootballfaithful.com. So, well done, you guys. Right, question 1. Ready?
I'm ready.
Arsenal, who are losing 1-0 to Brighton as we speak, made a significant change on Christmas Day 1886. What was it? Did they A, change their name to Arsenal? Did they move to Highbury, add a cannon to the badge, or appoint to Arsene Wenger?
Wenger was there a long time, but we can rule that out. Cannon to the badge. See, that was obviously the Woolwich Arsenal, wasn't it? Which is when they during the war, and likewise Arsenal was then named after the Arsenal. So I'm going to go where they moved to Highbury.
Moved to Highbury, okay. Incorrect. It was they changed their name to Arsenal.
Oh, there you go.
So imagine there was an original club in the area, and they've obviously then changed their name to suit. It is Woolwich, obviously, isn't it?
Yeah.
Woolwich Arsenal. So it's South London, isn't it?
Yeah.
Right, here we go. It's gone red, so maybe it's wrong. Right, Liverpool won the UEFA Cup in 2001, 2002. Actually, no, they didn't. They won it in 2000, 2001. It's an incorrect football. But which member of the squad was born on Christmas Day? Robbie Fowler, Michael Owen, Gary McAllister, or Jamie Carragher?
I've got a feeling it's Gary McAllister.
Okay, I think you might be right there. Yes. Correct, Gary McAllister. Well done.
Yeah, I heard that.
Good stuff. Well done, mate. 1 out of 2 so far. Where do FC Santa Claus play their home games? And yes, they are a real club. They got a badge here, actually, with Santa Claus on the badge. Right, Norway, Denmark, Sweden, or Lapland?
Oh, I was thinking Finland, which would be Lapland then, I guess.
Yeah.
Say, what's the other ones?
Norway, Denmark, Sweden. Coldish places.
Yeah, I'll go with Lapland. I would have thought it'd be Finland though.
I would have gone for Norway. Let's have a look. Correct, Lapland.
There we go.
So Finland, yeah, well done. Oh,
FC Santa Claus.
That's amazing. I love that.
Yeah.
Right. 2 out of 3 so far. Sunderland were bottom of the Premier League at Christmas Day in 2016-17. But which team has the lowest ever points total on Christmas Day? Sunderland, Derby, Wigan, or Derby and Aston Villa at the same time?
Oh, see, that's confusing. It's got to be Derby, because obviously they had the lowest ever, but I don't know if it's
Derby and Aston Villa.
Derby and, fair.
There we go. Oh, that's a few years ago, wasn't it, Villa? And they were really poor. Yeah, there we go. Derby, we've had that question a few times, Derby with low points total. Right.
Season.
Which former Premier League manager described the English football fixture list as evil? So this is what you talked about earlier.
Yes.
Frank de Boer, Ronald Koeman, Ruud Gullit, or Louis van Gaal?
They probably all had pops. I think it was Van Gaal, but he particularly didn't like it because obviously he has only just managed Man United in our country, isn't he?
Yes, Louis van Gaal.
Yeah.
What's that? Is that 3 out of 5? I think it is, isn't it? I'm going to give you one more. A few more, actually. We're doing these at a good pace. Right, what happened during Charlton's Christmas Day fixture against Chelsea in 1937? Was the referee hit by a mince pie thrown from the bench? Was the game abandoned due to fog, but one goalkeeper didn't realise for 20 minutes? Was a goal scored, but due to heavy fog, the referee didn't see it? Or did a streaker dressed as Santa come onto the pitch?
No one was streaking in 1937. People were classier back in 1937.
Yeah.
I'm going to go with, just basically because they've given us a picture of a foggy football pitch. Although maybe that is a red herring.
But 2 of them got to do with fog.
Okay. I'm going to go with a goal was scored, but the referee didn't see it.
Game was abandoned due to fog, but one goalkeeper didn't realise for 20 minutes.
How?
It's foggy.
No whistles back then, was there?
Well, it must have been. Right, another one. What was funny about a Christmas Day fixture in 1940 between Brighton and Norwich? Interesting now, because the Football League would have been stopped 1940, so maybe. Right. Well, instead of swapping shirts, the players all gave each other Christmas presents. Did a reindeer run onto the pitch? Was the game called off because the ref was drunk? Or Brighton only had 5 players and the remaining 6 were picked from the crowd?
I'll go with Brighton only had 5 players because maybe they were at war.
Yeah, yes. You're right. Well done. Right, brilliant. I'll start there then.
Yeah.
Pretty good. I like this question. Maybe if there is another podcast around the new year, we might get this one back out, this quiz here. So I'm just going to actually find something quickly because there's that famous fixture list from Boxing Day, isn't it?
Yes.
From,
I know exactly what you mean.
Yeah, is it the 50s? And it's that amazing score lines. So I'm going to try and find it quickly. Here it is. Boxing Day 1963. Shall I read out the score lines?
Go on.
Okay, shall I do it in the voice of a scoreline guy?
Yeah.
Division 1 results. Blackpool 1, Chelsea 5. Burnley 6, Man United 1. Fulham 10, Ipswich 1. Leicester 2, Everton 0. Liverpool 6, Stoke 1. Nottingham Forest 3, Sheffield United 3. Sheffield Wednesday 3, Bolton Wanderers 0. West Brom 4, Tottenham 4. West Ham 2, Blackburn 8. Wolves 3, Aston Villa 3. There you go.
That would be incredible for Amazon if they had one.
Is that about 50 goals, isn't it? Or maybe even more. That's
insanity.
8. There's two games with over 10 goals. And a few 7-goal thrillers and a couple of 8 ones as well.
Unbelievable.
Mad.
What happened at Christmas?
Yeah,
I'm wearing my Cardiff City Christmas jumper today. So it'd be nice if we get something similar down Cardiff City Stadium on Boxing Day.
At 10-1 would be great, wouldn't it?
In favour of Cardiff City, of course.
Yeah, there we are. Right, what do you do now? Your quiz now, is it?
Guess the year? Guess the year.
Yeah, I love Guess the Year.
Okay,
I did right last time, didn't I?
Yeah. Guess the year. So, the first ATM is put into service in Barclays Bank in London. The first Boeing 37 takes its maiden flight, and Concorde is seen for the first time in public.
Now, I know Boeing was big in the Second World War, because I think they manufactured the American planes. But commercial flight would have got big, I guess, starting in the 50s. But Concorde is later.
Not flying, seen. So
seen.
The development, or the pictures of it are first seen.
Okay, so I think 1962.
Okay. 4th of March, your Football League history now. Queen's Park Rangers become the first 3rd Division side to win the Football League Cup at Wembley Stadium. They beat West Brom 3-2.
Okay, now the League Cup's only been around, it's not as long as it. And a lot of the early winners were lower league. 67.
In South Africa, the first successful human-to-human heart transplant takes place during December. Christian Barnard performed the operation on a 53-year-old patient, Louis Washkansky.
Right. Now, I know Concorde was big in the 70s. And I think...
Heart transplant,
I think in 60s, 70s. 1970.
11th of May, the United Kingdom and the Republic of Ireland officially applied to join the European Economic Community. Their membership is denied, though, vetoed mainly by France.
72.
In case we wanted to join the European Economic Community. 31st of March, at the Astoria Theatre in Finsbury Park, London, Jimi Hendrix sets fire to his guitar for the first ever time. He's taken to hospital with burns to his hands.
Amazing. Right, Hendrix, East 60s and into the 70s. It's definitely around the turn of the decade. Let's go. I've done 72, 70s, 69.
Okay, the 8th of April, the 12th Eurovision Song Contest is held in Hofburg Imperial Palace in Vienna in Austria. The United Kingdom win for the first ever time with Puppet on a String by Sandy Shaw.
71. Actually, no. Nothing big football happened in 71. 74.
Ed Balls, former Soccer AM presenter Helen Chamberlain, Paul Gascoigne and Toby Jones, the actor, are all born?
I reckon they're 40s. Hang on. 50 years ago. I don't know why I'm whispering. I can talk out loud. It's my house. Right. 70. Oh my gosh. 70.
Okay, final one. 25th of May, Celtic become the first
67.
British team to reach
I said it
the
earlier.
Cup final and win it, beating Interland 2-1. You've got that on the back of QPR becoming the first team to win from the third division.
Yeah, I mean,
Question 2.
I don't know if I got it early, but then I feel like I've not really got it. So
Yeah.
I've gone off and I've gone, 74.
Gone all over the place. It confused you a bit, which is good. That's what I want it to be.
Well, that's the best one we've had so far.
Good.
They're the really good clues.
Good.
Surprised the age of some of them, mind.
Yeah.
That means they're 52.
Ed Balls seems like something.
Yeah. Gaza.
Helen Chamberlain's surprised that she's 52.
Yeah. She's been on Soccer M, wasn't she? Yonks ago.
Yeah.
To be fair. Right, brilliant. Good quiz, well done.
Yeah, good, thank you. Okay, just before we leave, just previewing the Christmas fixtures. Obviously, there's lots of big, important games coming up. You've mentioned the fact that Liverpool are in a different country.
Yeah, World Club Cup, Qatar. So a little chance to see what Qatar's like in football.
Yeah, a jaunt abroad. Obviously, there's going to be big changes in some managers' stakes, potentially, with Marco Silva going from Everton. We've also got Freddie Ljungberg currently in charge, isn't he, of Arsenal.
Mourinho,
losing significantly on his return. The Boxing Day fixtures then for Christmas special.
It's 9 this year, isn't it?
Yeah, Spurs versus Brighton is the 12:30 kickoff. And then, as we said, Amazon, you get your choice of Bournemouth, Arsenal, Villa, Norwich, Chelsea, Southampton, Palace, West Ham, Everton, Burnley, Sheffield, Watford. There's a nice little choice for you there if your family allow it.
Yeah.
Man United versus Newcastle is the 5:30, and then the 8 o'clock is Leicester, Liverpool, which is
that big game.
First v second.
And then Wolves Man City the day after.
Wolves
That's
Man
another
City,
big game as well.
Fab.
Lovely. And then the 28th there's a game as well. A few games.
And then the 29th.
29th.
And then the first.
Second.
And then we've got the FA Cup break.
Brilliant.
Love it. Football. It's brilliant.
Love that.
It's been a lovely pod. Have a very happy Christmas if we don't catch you again
Merry
before Christmas.
Yeah. Keep up with the Fantasy League as well.
Yep.
We'll go through that next time, shall we?
Yeah. I mean...
Because you do really well.
And I'm top.
Yeah.
You have been taken over by Brexit backer, by the way, by my...
I was that by last time, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm right down now.
Yeah.
I've actually started trying again though now, so...
Yeah, I saw it. I've been watching you. You've been making some transfers and stuff.
Yeah. I've Luca Dean's out finally.
Yeah, good. Have a very happy Christmas. We'll definitely try and get back with maybe a New Year podcast in the week in between, that week where no one really knows what's happening.
Yeah.
That'd be nice.
Yeah.
But otherwise, have a happy Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Goodbye.
Ho, 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 ho! Merry Christmas!